off track. We were getting off track a little bit, and we have some. I think my favorite line is that working with energy healers and energy readers, you know where the vibe's off. So after one of our meetings like a month ago, it was like everything kind of fell apart the next day, and we were like, okay, something's not going right. So we were just going to try to go back and share our kind of bigger message. So we're still doing the featured healer today. So Emmy is going to do a presentation on runes, which is really exciting because I know nothing about them. So she's going to go after this, and then after that, I'm going to go and do this presentation on kind of what the goals of Healers Unite are and what we see as the vision. So, so we'll let Emmy go now.
Do you want everybody to?
I think that
like a brief introduction.
Maybe it kind of takes. We'll do a brief introduction. So if we could just like stick to like a minute, because what happens is we tend to get away from like, you know, they tend to be like lengthy, and then we get away from like the meeting. We'd love. There are so many people here, and this is so exciting because I don't think we've had this many people yet. So this is awesome. So if we could just go around and do a brief introduction. Our goal is to kind of make this more social, but right now we're trying to like sell our message too. So anyway, I'm Brooke. So yeah. So anyway, I went on a spiritual journey about 1.5 years ago. With that, I realized I had some energy healing abilities. But also realized that it's really difficult to get started being an energy healer. So I kind of realized that I needed to start something to help organize healers and make it easier for us all to grow and thrive in this business. So along that way, I met Karen. She was also starting a directory, and that's how we got connected. So we're trying to build this directory and the social network, and then grow it into a million other things that I will get into. So you'll hear lots about me. But Karen.
Hi, yes, I'm Karen. I'm one of the co-founders of Healers Unite and Souly, the directory of healers. On my journey, I met, you know, I guess on my spiritual journey, hey, we have a question on chat. I'm sorry. Oh, sure.
We'll get to this.
I'm sorry. You guys are so far apart. I know at that location, it's a very big room.
I'll try to move the camera.
I want to know who's talking so I can get to know you. Thank you.
Just shifted around the room.
So in my spiritual journey, I was chasing money, and I hit this really strong roadblock for me, which made me change my direction and question, you know, my path, my purpose, and God. And I met so many fabulous and soul-fulfilling healers like you. It became my mission to lift us up and rise us up. And through that, I created the directory of healers, where we can all gather and be as one and just lift everybody up. So that's, I guess, my story that's short.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just go around right there, if that's okay. Lynn.
Okay, I'm Linda.
Just a little bit about you, maybe your spiritual journey, your modalities if you practice.
Yes, I practice Reiki. I'm also a member of my tribe, the Cherokee tribe, and I do Cherokee ceremony, especially around the full moon and the new moon. And I am just looking to get started.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kathy, Souly Holistic. I do many different modalities, so I won't take up the time to say so, but yeah, this is me.
And we're here at Souly Holistic today.
Well, first of all, thank you for facilitating
Yes.
the process. We gather together. My name is Rune Your. I'm originally from California. I started my healing journey, I guess, because it was just a path that I was supposed to follow. I'm a mechanical engineer, many years in the successful career, but since I was very young, I was stuck in great metaphysical. Later on, I found out that my great grandmother was actually, so that's kind of my bloodline. But just circumstances direct me to that path, And so I'm a certified healing touch practitioner. And I also do another modality. It's called Sama. It was created by the government in Spain. And so I did extensive training with him and also do the certification program of healing touch. I relocated to Raleigh and I was a practitioner in California. But now since I retired from my regular job, now I have all my time to do my real time. So here I am. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Keith. I do Akashic Records. And we'll just keep this up here.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Hi, I'm Julie. I do a bunch of things. I'm gonna try to sites. So I do energy healing. I've learned most of that through modern mystery school, and it's what I like about it is that it's specific. Like there's specific sessions for specific things. So like someone will talk to you about what's going on, and maybe they need a soul retrieval, and maybe they need more healing, maybe they need a life activation, or maybe they need. I do Reiki also, but maybe they need it. I don't know. So I like that there are things for things that are specific. So I do that, and then I also do inner child healing coaching, and those work really well together. And then my background is more in physical stuff like myofascial release and movement. So I do bring that in sometimes too. Yeah, and not some ground, and I have to figure out a few times for different things. Yeah, I saw this on meetup. I was like, oh, cool, let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Okay.
Hi, I'm Anna. I also do like a bunch of different things. The main thing is I work with inherited family trauma and relationship dynamics, and also teaching people how to connect with the quantum field and their intuition and all their clairvoyant senses. Mainly with German clients. I'm from Germany. That's where my accent is from. So my coaching business is online based. That's so. Yeah. So.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hi, Rune. I've been facilitating healing for over 30 plus years. Yeah. I am an oracle, so I read people's souls. A lot of the stuff I've kind of just channeled and downloaded from my ancestors as far as the healing. You know, I do a lot of different modalities. It's very intuitive. I also work with animals as well. So dogs and cats. Cats don't really need healing. Horses. And dry. Yeah, I work again. I could go on and on and on. It's very in depth. And the elementals I work with, you know, fairies and the dragons and the unicorns. Oh my.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. And now we'll go to online and we'll end with you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. How about we start with Ellen?
Oh, hi. Okay. I'm Ellen Morrison. I am a sound healing facilitator. I use Himalayan bowls as well as tuning forks and some other instruments. I'm a Usui Holy Fire Reiki master and teacher. I also do neuro-linguistic programming, and I've also been a dietitian for 31 years, specializing in eating disorders. So I still do nutrition and wellness coaching.
Awesome.
Most of my stuff is online. So I don't have a office where I can actually work and do some of the other stuff. So if anybody's got open space, I know Kathy sometimes does, but that would be nice to know.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. Next, Jay Krumhorn.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Hey.
I'm happy to be here. So I started taking, I'm a Reiki master. Some of the classes I took with Kathy. Hey Kathy, how are you? And Andrea, who's also on, is she's the one that got me started in all this a couple of years ago, and I've been doing, this is kind of unrelated, but I do paranormal research and investigations. I've been doing that for about 20 years. And I also do hypnotherapy. I live in Chapel Hill, but I'm from Raleigh, and it's good to see y'all.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. And we'll move on to Andrea.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Andrea Little. I am several years into my spiritual development. I do Reiki as well as hypnotherapy. I spent a year training in the shamanic healing techniques. And also I am currently enrolled for sound therapy with a person named Vikram Paul Singh out of Spain. And so I'm learning gong, singing bowls, all of it. So I'm currently learning that as well. I'm starting my own company, so I'm just starting out. So I'm just here to meet people and to learn.
Great, thank you. And Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle, and I do work focused mostly on embodiment, but incorporating energy healing, Reiki specifically, as well as just intuitive messaging that comes from tuning into people's energy, and then leading to kind of somatic healing from there, probably a little bit similar to what Julie was mentioning. But excited to be here and just kind of starting fresh with all of this work.
Great, thank you. Then we have somebody else that come in.
Okay, we just yes, come on in. Oops. Okay.
Okay. I know you just came in, but if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, we're just kind of sharing.
I don't mind. I'm Sherry Bell. I'm Sherry Bell, Energy Healing in Sanford.
Oh, great. Thank you. Alrighty. Okay, well, we're going to cut to Emmy. So Emmy's going to go over our Future Healer today. So the goal of the Future Healer program was to bring people in to introduce topics that they, are experts in, to provide that information to the group. So I know how I describe it is I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know an in-depth amount about anything really. So it was cool to have, people come in, and we've had presentations now on human design and tarot readings. So this is, Emmy's going to present runes to us. So then we have a little bit more information. And if it's something that you find personally interesting to you, that you would like a reading, then, Emmy's available for that. Or also, if it's something that you feel like would be beneficial to add to your practice too. I'm sure she also teaches classes as well. So, yeah, that was the goal. Fun with technology. And then we
Kind of a double, let's see how the best way to do this is having people to see this screen. Okay.
Cool. I sent it to you in an email, so you can drop it in the thing.
Oh, okay. Did you send it to Souly?
Karen at Souly.
Yeah. Let's see.
You guys know you can do gallery on the pictures. So it's just.
Yeah, not featured.
Yeah.
Well, if we pull up
It
this
doesn't-
side.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're okay. No, we don't have time, so it's okay.
It's not, it's Google Meet.
As much as we've used it, I still can't navigate.
Okay, and I also brought because some people are readers. I also brought some handouts. I tried to print a lot, but my printer just would not print. Sorry. So to do this better.
Wow. Oh. Do you have enough for everybody?
Oh, no, just for you to pass around.
Oh, I see.
It's
Oh,
the
I got
same
you.
as what I'm
Yeah.
about to present. It's just, some people like having something in their hand to follow along, and I apologize. My printer was not wanting to print. So, hi. My name is Mary Elizabeth Gonda. Like to call myself a spiritual nurturer. One of the things that I do is runes. I love the Elder Futhark Runes. And I am particularly happy to take you on a mystical journey today of the Elder Futhark Runes. I would stop at this point and kind of ask, what insight are you open to receiving? But maybe for the sake of time, just hang on to your questions for a second. And by the end of them, if you still have some, hopefully I can answer them. All right, so what are runes? So runes are ancient symbols that were originally used as letters in early Germanic languages, but they were also used for divination and spiritual purposes. In modern times, they are now used for meditation and serving as a bridge between the seen and the unseen. The word rune is an old Norse word. It is an Old Norse word, rune. Rune? Yeah, no, okay. An Old English. I'm looking over at Miss Anna. I'm sorry, y'all may not know. I'm looking over at Miss Anna like, am I getting this German right? Which translates to secret, mystery, whisper, hidden knowledge. So when I'm saying, hey, I'm ready to rune your day, it really means I'm here to kind of demystify it. Like, so that's what that means by rune your day. All right. There are different rune systems. I will be focusing on the Elder Futhark, which consists of 24 runes. It was considered the original rune alphabet. And there is the Younger Futhark, the Anglo-Saxon Futhark, and there's also a new modern twist called the Witches' Runes. I have pictures of them, which are really cool to also play around with. Basically, it's studying symbology and applying the symbology to actual life. So while there are many the Elder Futhark is the oldest and most complete. It contains 24 runes, each representing a distinct divine archetype. It is structured and deeply rooted in Germanic and Old Norse mythology. It is what the presentation will be on for the remainder of these PowerPoint slides. And so here's a picture of all of the Elder Futhark and the runes. They are divided into 3 families. These are called Ets. Ets literally means families or groups. The first Et goes through the archetypal of forces of life and creation. And then Hagel's Et, or sometimes known as Himdel's Et, talks about transformation and change. And then Tyr's Et goes more into the human experience and psychological aspects. Okay? Here's an example of a rune. I pulled Ansus for this. Each rune is made up of staves, which are just lines, sacred geometry. Each has a phonetic sound, a mythic root, and an elemental energy. So Ansuz is actually the letter A, even though it looks like an F, right? It is supposedly translates to mouth or God. They do consider it another name of Odin. The translation roughly is that God mouth is the originator of all speech, the mainstay of wisdom and a comfort to the wise ones, for every noble warrior, hope and happiness. So Ansuz is all about how do you communicate? How do you talk to people? How do you not only talk to other people, but how do you talk to yourself? How do you talk to source? Answers. Okay. You can also go visit different locations where the Elder Futhark is. One of the cool things about the ruins is you can actually go take a trip and actually see these carvings around the world. Here are some of the popular places to go find them, mainly in Europe, of course. There are some here in America that I cannot remember where. I apologize. Origins of the runes. So the origins of the runes actually remain quite a big mystery. They were thinking that they were a language between tribes, but it seems that there was a deeper myth to it. So according to the Havamal, which is where you can go to study the runes further, they were earned through sacrifice. The great god Odin, the Allfather, hung himself from the world tree Yggdrasil, pierced by his own spear, without food or drink, for 9 nights. And it goes, I know that I hung on a windy tree 9 long nights, wounded with a spear, dedicated to Odin, myself, to myself. On the 9th night, just as he was near death, he saw the runes, powerful symbols of divine knowledge, shimmering beneath the roots of the tree. And with a final burst of will, he grasped them. Thus, the runes are not merely a tool for divination, they are a great sacrifice. Pulled from the depths of the unseen, meant for those ready to walk a path of wisdom and transformation. These are not things to be taken lightly. It was one of the things that my mom told me before studying the runes was you need to be careful. Why? Because this is ancient wisdom that is being passed on through the years and deserves to be treated with great respect. So what is a rune reading? That is the number one question I get. Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a tool for intuitive guidance and spiritual guidance and intuitive building. It's a mirror of your energy and experiences. It's a sacred language connecting you to your higher self and to divine source. What it is not. It's not a crystal ball or a guaranteed prediction. It is not a replacement for professional advice. And it is not a one-size-fits-all answer. Each reading is unique to the seeker. And runes are basically just a tool for divine dialogue. Okay? Working with runes. So creating sacred time with runes is important if you wish to study runes. I recommend lighting a candle, using incense. I keep stones nearby. This is my version of lighting a candle because I have toddlers. So I pull 1 rune a day. ask what energy is guiding you today. And whatever rune is pulling out, look at the symbol, reflect on its shape, reflect on the power, reflect on the feeling of it that it's giving you. If you're a person that likes to write things down, by all means, I am horrible nowadays. I use ChatGPT to journal most of my thoughts. Be sure to ask simple questions and be sure to ask open-ended questions. Treat it like a sacred time. And the more you work with the runes, the more they will speak to you. Okay, recommended reading. I have all of my books that I recommend that aren't on my Kindle. For reading, and I also recommend anything by Mr. Jackson Crawford on YouTube, even though he is not esoteric, so to speak. He is the go-to expert on runes because he has studied them for all his life. And he does a great job of explaining what they mean and where the myths around them and everything. So he's really great to look up. Okay. That is all I have for my presentation. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
They're related.
Does anybody have any questions? I have all kinds of cards here and stuff for you guys to look at later if you want. So I think somebody does have a question.
I have a question. How does the rune compare to sacred geometry, or are they kind of similar, or are some of the patterns the same? Because I'm ignorant in both, but just have been introduced very little and just very interested in your perspective.
Yes. So I think, okay, let me make sure I'm understanding your question. You're wanting to know how the runes compare to sacred geometry?
Yes.
Okay. So you can still, you can grid the runes onto the sacred geometry. Does that make sense? You can,
like the symbols.
Yeah, you can like carve the symbols into the sacred geometry, the geometrics.
Okay. Because I heard you say the runes are like letters.
Yeah, they are letters. They're very easy to draw.
Okay.
And so you can carve them carve them. I have a flower of life symbol right here, and I have it, I apologize. I'll take a picture. But it's gridded with the runes that are carved on crystals. So the runes are carved, typically you'll find them carved on crystals or wooden pieces. Traditionally, wood is the way to go because it's considered the more natural source. Not to say a crystal isn't natural, sorry guys. But back then they would have used leaves and bark to actually carve these symbols on. So that's why they use wood is the most common. I'm sorry, did I answer you?
Yes.
Their shapes are basically very easy to manipulate into the sacred geometry and use with sacred geometry.
That makes sense to me. Some of it looks similar, but not. So you answered my question. I can understand the similarity now. Thank you.
Can you explain what a rune reading looks like? Like, for somebody that doesn't even know what a rune looks like. like the crystals that you have there or the.
Right. One of the things that I was thinking we could do if Ms. Brooke was okay with it was I could pass this bag around the room and everybody just pull a rune and take a look at it. And I can just basically give you its meaning.
Okay. Does everybody on the screen know what it actually looks like?
Well, that's what I was thinking is that for each one of you guys, I would hold up the room with one of my cards.
Okay, so you're the camera.
Yes, so I could show them on camera what each of you got and what each of you needs. Does that make sense? Yeah. Sorry. My Chiron is in Gemini.
He's a good astrologer, so I understand that more. He's like, I said things, I'm like, that means something. But I don't know.
Healing
You
and
raise-
communication.
you need to raise it. So whatever that is, then you look at that sign, whatever that would be.
So is everybody here open to messages only for their highest and best? Okay. So I will start with Miss Karen. And what I'm doing, guys, for those of you on screen, is I've got a bag of runes, okay? And they're crystal runes. They're Labradorite crystal runes. I chose Labradorite for my runes, for the psychic abilities and psychic protection that it offers. So I'm going to take this bag, and what I'm going to instruct people to do is just take it, shake it, use their non-dominant hand to reach in and pull out one rune. Okay? So take it, shake it, non-dominant hand, pull one rune.
Are you gonna go one at a time, or should we just pass around and take one?
Sure, yeah, pass it around and take one.
I got the up arrow.
Up
Or maybe down.
You got
sideways,
tears.
I don't know.
She got an arrow. She got
Should we put it
tears.
back and then, or just go?
You can put it back in and go. Okay, so she got tear. And tear is all about warrior energy, divine masculine. Sorry. So that picture up in the corner right there. Yep. Okay, that's the one that she got. Divine masculine energy. And if you just want to keep it moving.
Okay, sorry. I just got your- Across.
Okay, Gable, a gift. Energy exchange, which is what Ms. Brooke is obviously here to do. Conduct energy exchanges today. Okay.
A straight line. Whoops.
Isa. Gotcha. Isa. Patience. Patience is required for you right now. Wherever you are on your journey. Sorry. Isa is all about ice and stillness, needing to go within. She's kind of like the Temperance card. Needing more spiritual discipline is typically her message, not your message. Well, could be, but you need more patience. According to Isa. Sorry. It was the rule, not me. I didn't do this. What did you get? Oh, okay. Manaz, so you are here because you need community and you need, okay. So Manaz is all about community. And needing to know who you are within the community these days. Sorry, they're not in order. There it is. That's Manaz. Okay.
like an arrow direction perhaps?
Okay, so you and Miss Karen have got a bond going on. So warrior energy is needed for both of you right now. Tapping in more into your divine masculine and maybe even needing to sacrifice something for the greater good. That is Tyr, the message of Tyr. Sorry, that was this guy. That's what he just got.
Yeah, big bad of the audience. That looks like an H.
Are you okay?
Am I okay?
Yeah. It's typically for Hagalaz. Hagalaz typically means that you're going through a shit storm right now. It is a hailstorm. And it's kind of the tower card in a way. It means things are naturally falling away from you. Naturally falling, well, could be naturally, could be forcefully falling away from you. But it's for the greater good. And that is Hagalaz. As you see the tornado on the card, that's, yeah, that's representative of that. Embrace it. Robert sent me this really cool duck video, a duck standing out in a hailstorm, just embrace it. Just be like, bring it on.
Good cleansing.
Okay.
I receive.
Oh, now these, okay. So now these typically means that there is a need, a general need within a person. It indicates that you, and this may or may not resonate, but that you've been through a really tough time and have gone through some serious surviving. Okay. And that is the message of Malthus. And I apologize. There we go. Still shuffling. Here we go. Malthus. Right?
I think I got the H again.
Uh-oh, a hailstorm too, sir.
Yeah.
And the best advice I've got for you as well is just try to be that duck. Just letting it roll off your back, even though it kind of hurts and stings a little. Just let it go. That was Hagalaz again, guys. Othala, yay, welcome home, sister. That's what Othala means, is home, which is what I love about Othala is it talks about what it is that you want to leave behind. So it's not just about building your foundation, which is something you need to work on, but it's about really, you're at a point now where it's okay, what message am I trying to give? Okay, that's Othala.
I have the F that is
Oh, you have options.
answers.
Awesome. Yeah, of course you would get that. Of course you would get that. I'm sorry, but with her being a clairvoyant, clair all of the above, she would get answers, which is for communication, divine communication, describing her work, because that's what she is. She's a divine communicator, Miss Anna here. So she would get answers. Okay. I don't think that's fair. I think she should have to read it. No, I'm joking.
Ooh, I got a cool X. Video on top of me.
Oh, okay. All right, we're manifesting. We are manifesting something. Okay, we're trying to plant. That is Ingwas. Ingwas is really cool. I've had answers. Ingwas is also about divine relationships coming together. Because as you see, it's kind of gable on top of gable. So a gift on top of a gift. It's also about planting seeds because it's supposedly named after this god Ing, who is the god of fertility. But there's like but there's like so many gods of
Can you
fertility.
pick for them on the screen?
Sure.
Yeah.
Miss Ellen, can I go with you first?
Ellen, you're on mute.
She said yes. I saw the word. But
Yes.
yeah. Is your birthday coming up?
No.
Good. That would have been too scary. No. Yira. So everything comes in cycles. And that Yira, literally, you can hear it when you say it is year, but in this case, you got to remember to take the good with the bad.
Mhm.
Is the lesson that comes with Yira, because you see it's got I don't know, Kanaz. Oh, might help if I do this. There you go.
Okay.
Kanaz going one way and Kanaz going another way.
All right. Got it. Thank you.
And Kanaz is all about creativity,
Mm.
meaning you're torn between going two different ways. But it's okay. This is just a cycle.
Well, that
Okay.
fits me. Thank you.
If I can. Hey, Andrea. Or Andrea.
Hi.
Andrea. Sorry.
Hey, friend.
Long time no see. I just got done teaching.
I know.
this. Okay. I got Manaz for you.
Mhm.
So who are you? Who are you in the community? Needing community, needing that sisterhood. But not just sisterhood, needing brotherhood as well. But that's going to be hard to come by. Sorry. And just needing those connections right now.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Building on those connections. Try networking.
Okay.
And try networking events. Like look up on Meetup networking events.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Crumpler?
Yes. Hi.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your first name.
It's Jay.
Jay?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Mr. Crumpler.
I'm hoping for Fune. I need some Freya blessing.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, close. We got day guys.
Okay. All right.
So you're coming full circle and gaining clarity on a new issue. And this represents a new day is coming.
I like that. Makes sense.
Yeah, if you can just hold out a little.
That's wonderful. I'm taking a screenshot. Thank you.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And that, day guys, I just feel like I'm not doing it enough justice, guys, because there's so much myth behind each one. And there's day guys, of course, is the D rune and all it represents the sun and clarity and coming to a completion on issues. But I teach, I do tutoring. I'm here at Souly Holistic this Sunday. Miss Kathy blesses me. Thank you so much, by the way. And lets me teach here just about, she's like, all right, pull out your calendar. So, whenever, guys, and I do online classes, Miss Ellen, just letting you know. So that was it for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
A little taste for everybody. So yeah, now like we're
That's a rune read. Just in looking at symbols, interpreting, knowing their history, knowing. Yes, ma'am. That's it.
great. Awesome.
Thank you
so much.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
When you doing like a reading, like with them, are you just choosing one or do you choose several, like someone with the tarot would do?
Depends on which one they get. Depends on what they order, right?
Okay.
I'll come on you. But but yes, ma'am, I do cast. You're talking about throwing the runes and then picking more than one. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just trying to learn.
Yes, ma'am. You can pull runes or you can cast them. There's two different ways.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your presentation. Very nice.
Yes.
So crazy. Last night, you guys see the movie Stardust?
Yeah.
It's an old movie. It's a great. Oh, it's seen Stardust in this one?
I have.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, so it's like 2005, but it's with arrows in it, like there's all, and it's high vibe, like really powerful, no low level stuff in it. And it's so crazy because some things show up for me more than once. But they were doing the runes. They were throwing the runes down, really fast. They were like, boop, boop, yes, no. Anyways, and then the fact that I'm here today. So there's definitely a reason why the runes have come into my career field. But yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, you guys should.
Yeah.
But it's magical and mystical and, it's
Stargate.
just so good. Yeah, no
Stardust.
negative stuff in it,
Yeah.
So that was like all
Yes.
the great days.
Right. All right. Well, okay. On from there, we are going into my little presentation. So last time I gave this, I decided it was my Future Healers Week. So the lengthier version of this is online if you want to watch it. So I went onto the whole spiel about 2 weeks ago. Well, yeah, they're every 2 weeks, so exactly 2 weeks ago. But we figured just to kind of keep up the momentum. We were going to share this message a couple times just to get more people on our page. So anyway, so this is my featured healers presentation. So I think that part of my problem was coming into this being a little too small and saying that, you know, the story that I have shared was, you know, not inaccurate. Like I had my spiritual awakening. I, you know, went on a journey to try to figure out what I wanted to do, discovered my energy healing abilities, and, you know, realized that to me, it's a very difficult path. And for somebody who wants to make their life's purpose their career, it's difficult to get there. So, you know, I say that that's when I discovered that, you know, I needed to help organize this, but I think of it more as, now I'm saying it's more of like a channeling or a download. Okay. So I'm receiving this guidance to start this network and to start this directory, to start this social network, because I can read and see the disorganization, but also these are the messages that I'm receiving that I need to pass on and need to, you know, encourage others to try to join with us to create this. So I think of it bigger than just like Broken Karen's idea to start a directory, and it's big. Okay, so we want to start this network, and we're local here, which is why we're starting this locally. But we envision this Healers Unite movement growing much larger than just North Carolina. So let me see if let me kind of keep on path here on my slides, because I'll get off track very easily. So what I'm now calling these visions is seeds. So, you know, I have these downloads, I have these visions, and, you know, I think of them as these little seeds that I have. And, you know, in the case of, let's say, the directory and the social network, you know, I planted those seeds. I found energy with Karen, found energy with, you know, other people who've been interested in growing this garden, and those have started to grow. Okay. But I was holding them in for too long, and I think that they're getting like they're starting to fester. What did I say? I said I had a grain silo full of seeds, and they're getting too full, they're spilling over. Like I need to start sharing these seeds, I need to start planting them. So yeah, so I mean, I've kind of always had these abilities to kind of see through processes and make things easier to, you know, like just in like my muggle job, my day-to-day job that I had in the past, you know, that I was also like a team leader there, where I would see through processes and come up with ways to improve things. So I don't think of it as like completely different than those abilities, but just also they're coming to me in different ways and coming to me as like, this is what you're supposed to do. And every time I check in, it's like, nope, this is the path. I was showered with feathers this week. That was the messages that I was, that was my little, like, you know, encouragement along the way. But it's still what I'm supposed to be doing, even though it's kind of a struggle to kind of get here and get people motivated to join us, but it's still the right path. So I'm still here sharing the message. So, let me see. The messages on here are much more flowery. I did use some ChatGPT help to keep me on message. But yeah, so that's every movement begins with the seeds. That's where we're starting. So the next slide here is unfertile land. So for months, I felt like I was, you know, struggling to find my direction, and just felt like I needed to share all the seeds all at once, I think was what I was first doing. And I was just throwing these seeds onto unfertile land. Like I didn't have the people, I didn't have the energy. And along the way, you know, I think that as I was sowing this unfertile seeds or seeds on unfertile land, it was like, that's when I was seeing other people who were doing the same thing. And I think of this in relation to social media a lot, and how it is, to me, a very unfertile land that we're all trying to grasp at these, you know, this vision of becoming this like influence and gain all of our followers from social media. But I think that it's just so toxic out there, and it's just now flooded with people trying to do the same thing, that it's just becoming very toxic and not a fertile place to grow ourselves. So that's one of the things that we hope to do is to, through these collective efforts of trying to, join together to promote ourselves as healers and not just individuals, we are better able to share a message on fertile ground with people who can receive that message, because there's one account, let's say, sharing instead of 30. But yeah, so through those struggles, I was able to identify ways to make it easier for all of us to thrive in this business. So that's sorry. Trying to struggle to read here too. Okay, so
You want me to turn on the light?
that's okay. I don't want it to like shock everybody's eye. So creating fertile ground. We again received this channel call to provide the conditions for healers to grow, and that's when I stopped throwing the seeds on unfertile ground, found Karen, and then we started to join together to build this community. So we knew that us just trying to throw these seeds out of social media and be like, hey guys, hey, here's our message, and just nobody's hearing it. We really turned in and said, we really need to find community locally to be able to see people and physically talk to people and share the message so that people, can understand it. I think it's the same kind of thing as, working too, where you're kind of like just behind that email and, you don't see other people. It's better to have that face-to-face interaction, or, online too, where it's more of a personalized environment. So we're, getting to know each other and building this network up. So we, through our struggles, and restarts and pivots along the way. So, I know that Kathy's been with us this whole time, supporting us, and she's seen the pivots along the way that we like, okay, let's try this direction. Oh, this isn't working. Like, okay, let's drop that. Let's try something new. So it's just us trying to keep up this momentum to like, all right, we know it's the right direction, but little things along the way that maybe we've tried haven't been the exact right thing. So, I said that we've pivoted so much along the way that we've taught ourselves to dance, but we also made fertile ground. So we can see that here. There's people that are starting to understand this message and starting to listen and join us. So we're starting to see those seeds of change sprout. So the next one here is root bound. So I think that, at the core, we intuitively understand that we're meant to grow in community, and we're meant to build these businesses and to, work on this energy. Hi, everybody. No worries. And to build and grow together. You just come hang on over here, sorry. But I think it's really difficult to break through. Oh, sorry. It's really difficult to break out of the habits that we're used to and the way that we've always done things. And do I have an exact answer for how that looks? No. I'm, bringing this to all of us so that we can all kind of help to form that vision of what that looks like. So I think that too, and I didn't say this before, maybe I was supposed to get to it somewhere, but I think that was where I was getting into the in the weeds part was, I think that by us leading this, it gave the impression that like we're here to dictate how everything goes. And that's never been my intention, but I think that from just the design of this and us, it being our idea and us starting it and gathering everybody here, it seems like it's Brooke and Karen dictating how it's supposed to go, but that's not how I want it to be. So that's why I think I needed this restart, was to kind of back out a little bit. Just a little announcement too, I'm also moving. So I'm moving to Wilmington. So I'll still be building this and present, but not physically here. So I think that this move is pushing this to be more ours though, and not ours. Okay, so ours is in all healers,
Yeah.
collective, and not Karen and I's. So, and just a little aside too, you know, I had the directory, I found Karen had the directory also. So we had two directories. We decided because Karen's was more functional, we went with Karen's. So that was kind of the start of this. And then if anybody knows Yoli Ray, she does human design. She was one of our featured healers as well. She had also had the same vision to start a social network. So we met. I had a social network. She had a social network. Guess what? Hers is better. So we're going to go with hers. So that's another little thing that I'll get to at the end as to how to join that. But I think just part of this lesson for me as somebody that's, you know, growing and healing along the way is learning to let go of things and, you know, not, again, like learning to pivot. And I think that those were good lessons for me as to like finding Karen with her directory and like, okay, I put all this effort into this, but does not matter. Hers is the better one. Let's go with it. You know, so just showing that it's not ever meant to be mine. Okay. We want these things to be, you know, kind of more homegrown or to identify people in the community who maybe are doing things. Okay, so I know that there's people who've started planning events. You know, we like outside of kind of the, like, you know, soul holistic type shops, like bigger events in the communities. And so those are the types of people. It's like, okay, we're talking about doing events. Let's bring those people in who are already trying to do events and let's make them bigger and better, right? Because everything can be bigger and better if we're doing it together. So yeah, so root bound, I feel like, you know, it's that kind of feeling of, it's just like, okay, I had to grow on my own, right? Like I had to do my own healing, kind of find my path and, you know, all that type of thing on my own. But now it's like, oh, I'm kind of getting like, it's getting tight in here, right? Like it's not comfortable anymore. Like I need the support of other people. So we want to see us all grow in the same garden, right? So there's plenty of sunshine for everybody, right? You'll have your own little space in the garden, but we have that, I keep want to say it's my cellar, but that's the like face stuff. It's that network that's mycelium network that's under like the forests. You know, we are all going to benefit from growing that same garden, right? Because we have that support structure underneath that's enabling us all to grow bigger. Okay, I think we're good with that one. And then in the weeds, I think I explained that a little bit, but just that's where it was kind of, I was getting too far into details, and the details aren't meant to be mine. So I think that's when I had to kind of recognize like, ooh, I need to back off. And that was the big energy, like feel that last meeting that was just like, oh, the vibe in here is like not working. And this is just, we're getting too far into literally the weeds. So, you know, if you are a person that is like, you know what, my social media page is spot on, I love social media, like this is my thing, then, you know, take that as like, take over my page. I could care less. I'm not good at it. Like if you want to come in and run Healers Unite social media, woo, that'd be fantastic. You know, or come up with a couple, you know, if we want to see like a group of people come together and kind of build and grow that. Or, you know, if we're looking for people now for the social network. Okay, so the social network, if you can, I know this is controversial, but I'm not a fan of Facebook groups. I think that all social media is kind of in a dying era to me. Like I feel like it's just gone too far. It's like, you know how every like media type is just ruined at some point. Like phones are cool, and now you just get like spam calls all day, and the text messages were cool. Now they started getting spammy, and then like email. Does anybody even read it anymore? And now it's just like social media is next, right? So it's at that verge of just, to me, it's too much. So the social network that I envisioned that Yoli also has takes us off of those big networks. Okay, so same kind of interaction with other people, Our goal is to get it to be a big community of people who are like-minded, that are coming out there to support each other, share, grow with each other. It's whatever we make it. It's literally from scratch. There's like 5 of us there now. So come gather. If you're a person that is very interested in that kind of, social media, like chat group type atmosphere, we're looking for admins for that, so that people can help to boost the posts, start to interact and help to grow that network. This is why I have to follow slides, because I get so damn off track all the time. Yeah, and I think that too, this is where I see other people also getting into the weeds. So it's not just me. This is where I kind of read that same situation in other people's businesses. So it's, there's a lot of effort everybody is putting in on an individual basis to get people to their classes, to get people to come in for readings and different things. And it just feels like, there's all this effort put forth, again, like throwing it out into social media, or, just places where it feels like it's not getting to the people that need to see it. And I think that those are the types of things where, I see that as individuals, we're getting down into the weeds, and we could benefit from doing those types of things together, so that we're able to get out of the weeds and grow and thrive.
I like your nurse analogy.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. I need to be kept on track. So so I've described this as if you think of us all as healers, if you equate us to nurses. So I think too, it's the kind of the taboo of like what we do, the weird woo-woo, it's kind of hard to talk about with everybody. But look at us all in here. We're all from the same community, okay? We all exist out in this world of the 3D world, and we are so hugely powerful, and what we do is so amazing and helpful to people. I said when I discovered this, it was like somebody had been keeping a secret from me. Like I was pissed. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And then to discover like how difficult it is to grow and thrive just made me even more mad. So this is like the alchemizing of all that anger also, if that makes sense. But so yeah, if we think of ourselves as the equivalent of like the medical field of nurses, just by the way, we could probably eliminate the need for them if we were more powerful.
No, wait a minute, I'm a nurse.
Okay. We'll reduce the need.
Okay.
Reduce the need for medical care if we were more powerful. But if we equate it to nursing, and if you could think through how ridiculous it would be if every single person that you knew of that practiced in the medical field had their own Instagram page, had their own website, had to do all their own advertising, had to explain what the common cold was and what cancer was to everybody just to be able to get clients. That's crazy, right? That's absolutely insane. And that's where I feel like we are, we are providing care at the equivalent level of medical care to people, but we just aren't big enough, and we're too kind of weird that it's hard to get that message out. But that is why I feel like collectively, that's where we're able to get that message out consistently and in a way that can entice people to come into this healing fields and not think it's too weird. And then also we are able to provide support for each other and build and grow. I don't remember where I said this, but we'll go to the next one and see. Keeping myself on track is hard. Okay, so flower blooms. So we just to explain the analogy a little bit. So Yoli Ray's social network that she started is called the Holistic Hive. So I leaned into the hive kind of visualization and went with like the flowers and the seeds, and it really, I think, does though translate pretty well. So here the flower blooms. So these are all of the Healers Unite visions as far as kind of the more specific things. And also we came up with a page on the directory website that it's like / Healers United. So it's on our link tree or somewhere. We'll get that to you. But Karen was able to post all of the seeds. Okay, so there's a giant list of like the visions that we have, the seeds that we're putting out there. Okay, but here, so at the core of this is recognizing, again, like I was saying, that healing is just essential to self-liberation, like on an individual basis. And to me, I feel like globally, like systemic change. Like this to me is like change the world level, you know, like healing will change the world, but we have to, you know, build this to get there. So aside of suckling soul and hiding in fear. Okay, so the core vision that we had at first is to start the directory that's still out there. If anybody here wants to sign up, we have cards to set up for 6 months for free. I think I said, I don't know how I said this last time, but there will be expenses to part of this, right? But it's inconsequential to me because it is helping us all in a bigger way than like what the actual dollars going out are going to cost. And right now there's no fee for anything because we're still growing and building. But it's, I think if you listen to the last episode, especially like the last half hour of episode, I just call it an episode. Anyway, our last meeting. If you listen to the last half hour, a couple of the people that attended, kind of we had some feedback and some back and forth questions and whatnot. And, you know, one of the women was talking about a network that she was involved in that was for, I think, event planners. And, you know, they collected dues, but then they provided all these services for that network of people. So I think that detail is not my thing. But, you know, at some point, is there a financial person in here that's your mobile job? You know, if you could be the, like, person that helps us with that. You know, I think that there will be some expense to parts of this, but it again isn't where, like, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not sitting here and like sign up and blah blah blah. Like, we'll get there and it'll benefit us all. But the directory is currently free for now. Yeah. So we're shifting from so with digital content. So that's another thing where I said that I really think that at least as far as, you know, putting some shared content together. My original idea was like a podcast talk show where we were, you know, discussing some of our modalities in ways that were easy to translate to people who are new to healing. That was one of the more difficult things on my path, was that before I had my awakening, spirituality just seemed a little bit foreign to me because it just seemed like something other people did. And I think that the terminology and kind of like the ways that some of it can be presented leads to that. But I think that there are ways, and some of us have talked about this, to present things in a way that makes more sense to the sciencey type people like me, that it is an extension of science, right? It's just getting that wording to explain it and try to you know, get other people to understand that is where we're struggling a little bit. So we see that as kind of doing, you know, shared digital content and putting that on the Healers Unite page to amplify our messages. So we are hosting these in-person meetings, and then also obviously we have them both online and in person. From now on, we have one more in-person meeting scheduled to share this message again. And then after that, we're open. So we don't have anything scheduled, and
We do have one thing scheduled.
Oh, we do have this
seed planting
our
party.
seed planting party. So that's going to be like
Bring
our
your seeds.
yeah, kind of like what from the community seeds do you have? What visions do you have to move this community forward? Somebody else had said at the last meeting that we needed kind of like a planning session. So that'll be kind of like our planning session. I think that's the second week in June.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, so we'll publish that also. But that meeting will be again to kind of identify some of these big projects or seeds that we have, and get people interested in individual ones. Like where is your skill set lie? I told Yoli, because she does human design, but I felt like she should like give everybody a reading and place them. Like, you're a projector, here's your role. Like she could tell us what we should do. But anyway, so we're gonna have that meeting. But I think that this needs to grow from everybody and what y'all want it to be. Okay, so the featured healers thing I think is really cool. Is that something that y'all want to keep up with and like have meetings where we have the featured healer? What happens after that? I don't think that it needs to be business. I think that it could be maybe more fun or interaction or sharing our spiritual journeys, like these types of more personal things. And then as far as like the more business aspects of it, like that we need to grow together, let's have separate online meetings for that, and in which case I'm still participating in some of those bigger things that we're growing while I'm starting to try to grow this network in Wilmington. So framework. So yeah, we think of it as like a framework. So I put up a post yesterday where I described it as a union, and I was like, it's a union, but we're calling it a hive. But if you think through like that kind of support network, right? But we don't have an institution or a workplace, right? There's nobody that we're fighting back against or trying to organize against. It's us trying to organize ourselves together to boost ourselves. Okay, so I said my vision is that this is like an employee-owned big ass network where we have like health benefits and like we have eliminating microtransactions, like we just pay a fee and we all have meetup. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just like some of those little things that we all waste all this money on. Again, advertising, all those sorts of things. Right now we're here sitting in this room, Brooke with like some seeds that she's throwing out. Here's this vision of like employee-owned super union network. I don't know all the steps to get there. And that's why I'm relying on us to kind of see that vision and say, yeah, you know what, there's an inkling of that I believe in, or there's, I'm really interested in doing this piece. That's what I'm trying to build and grow and get people interested in coming together to, work with us on. So yeah. Next one. Pollinators arrive, and this is like exciting. Oh my gosh, it's only like 5 minutes left. So that's y'all. Instead, we don't come together, we swarm. So we kind of think of everybody in these little kind of hives. And what is a hive exactly? Not exactly sure. Like, is it all kind of like energy healers for like form a hive, like shaman, clairvoyance? I don't know, just like, is that like hives that you'd like to see either on a social network or meetings in person where you can kind of relate to each other, and then gather those efforts together when we need support to grow or build something? Or is it people gathered around certain interests that they'd like to see in this field? Like if again, you're interested in forming the podcast or, something to that effect, or if you're really interested in event planning, gather that hive together so that we can all take those little hives and swarm when we need to grow this. So I said this is spiritual mutual aid, and I really think that that's kind of like how I envision it, right? It's us coming together with our gifts and giving back to the collective, right? So what else is there? Yeah, I think that, everything else is kind of the same message that I've been saying this whole time, is just, coming together, realizing that, that we're all better when we're working and building this together, so we need, and I think that's where I kind of recognize today is I'm it's difficult for me to work linearly. So like I'm an ADHD mindset, and that's kind of how I work in these just idea spirals. And I need energy to sustain myself. So this is awesome, seeing the number of people here that hopefully are interested in building and growing this network. But we need to move it into being something where, you know, it can continue to grow without us continuing to have to like, hey guys, let's, you know, like, hey, let's try this. It's like, we want to see ideas more, you know, like grown up from this, and we can all support and grow those together. Sorry, this was like trying to abbreviate this into like a little shorter message than last time, but it was probably a little bit more eloquently stated in my last one where I said we recorded it. But yeah, how do I tie this all together? We can you go down to the last one? Yeah, so I feel like it's like, where do you envision yourself? Is it, you know, like we've talked about having a fun times group. Some folks went out on a hike recently as part of the fun times group. So, you know, those types of things are, if you like planning get-togethers, is that kind of your area? Again, we have online where you can, you know, grow and build a network online. Are you into advertising? We really need some help, like trying to figure out how to get the message out to people who are seeking healing services. So there's lots of opportunities, and I think that, you know, if you kind of keep up that momentum of like, oh yeah, you know, I can see this growing and building, and just what's your idea? Bring that to the table, share it. So again, we're going to have that seed planning meeting. We'll get the information out on. Right now, if you go to, I think the best place to go is our link tree. This has all the links to all the things in it. And on there is an invitation to the social network. So it'd be super cool if people could join the online social network. It is, again, like a complete blank slate. Right now, we're just going out and introducing ourselves on there. And
Is it Facebook?
It is not. It is not. No.
What is
So
the network?
it is, that is a good question. I don't know what the backbone of the network is called, but it's kind of, has anybody participated in like an online class before?
Yes.
Like where you then.
There's like a dozen of those though. So there's circle.
Yeah, it's
mighty
similar.
networks. There's all different kinds.
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of the one that she has. It's no, it's similar to like a circle though.
Okay.
But it's a network that's entirely built for us, so there's no fee for it, and it's currently.
And it's an app. It's an app, or is it web browser?
It's a browser, but I think that you can create an app. I haven't done the steps
Okay,
to make it an app.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself. Yeah. Okay.
We'll have to. One of the things we need to do is have Yoli help. Like
Yes.
we'll do like a presentation where she can, you know, show all the benefits to the site and whatnot. But right now, it's pretty user friendly if you just join, and it's kind of self-explanatory. She also has videos on there to kind of show you how to navigate, and part of the benefit is it kind of sends you emails along the way to keep you interested in coming back to interact too. So
Can I ask another question?
yeah, feel free.
So this is my wheelhouse, 20 years of marketing and supporting healers in the.
That's amazing. Okay.
And running my own business many times. Are you gals, do you have like a poll or a survey for people when we come in? Because really what matters is what do we want?
Yes.
Because you guys are talking about, again, I love it. Like I'm so flippin' happy and it's amazing. But you got to look at your features versus your benefits. And that's kind of where you're talking a lot about features. And every person in here has a different reason for why you showed up today. And that's where, again, I'm just lovingly giving you suggestion is to find out why is every person here.
Yeah.
Because again, to go on a walk and whatever, that's nice. That's not why we're here, right? I mean, again, I'm not going to talk for everybody, but that's really, really important. And that's what you want to focus on.
Yeah.
What
And
quote unquote problem are you solving for us? And I understand, again, I'm spiritual all the way, right? Like I pull energy and do all the things. And it's great for us. It's so funny. Like when I go, I run a lot of networking groups, you know, you go out and people are like, oh, you're an energy worker? Oh, I have a friend that's an energy worker. You guys need to get together. And then I'm always like, huh, well, if I was a realtor,
Yeah.
Would you say that about another
Right.
realtor? Oh, you need to meet my realtor friend, and now you get, it's just this, because they don't really know, right? I could go on and on, but
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
get to that point,
Yep.
and so that because it sounds like you guys have there's two phases. There's the us connecting, but why? Like,
Yeah.
why, right? Are we collaborating with each other, right? Like, how are we just because I'm a Reiki master doesn't mean all the Reiki masters should be hanging out. And it
Yeah.
would be great if we do, right? And then the second phase, of course, is how do most people are here because we need clients. Like, that's why we're here. How do I get myself out there, and how do I find people who are my ideal clients who have sold contracts with me, right?
Yeah. And I think that that's where we are. It's hard to like when you don't have all the pieces right now, right? Some of them we have to use vision because we don't have all these pieces. So we have the directory and we have the social network. We need people there. But then it's, once we have the people there, it's like the kind of overall vision is the directory is an easy way for people to, number one, get started, right? So if you just come out of a Reiki class and are really interested in starting your energy healing path, you can get started on the directory without having to start the social media network, the website, such and such. But then we need to be able to find a way to advertise, okay, to find the seekers. And right now, that's kind of where we're struggling, because the vision that we had for doing that was to create the podcast, to create content, to, get people to buy in and contribute to visions for advertisements, because it just doesn't feel authentic when it's us doing it. And we're not the healers either, right? We are, but we're not. That's not our day to day right now. So as healers, what do you also think would be the best way to advertise? That's why we were trying to get people to contribute, so that it's all of us, like forming this vision and not just the two of us, if that makes sense. So it's like I could see the path to getting more clients, if that makes sense, because that's the whole goal of it, is to get. We feel like there's more people out there that if we presented it in a way that made a little bit more sense to, can I just call them muggles, like the people that aren't in the spiritual world, right? Like the people that are like on that verge. We feel like there's ways to kind of, boost interest and explain what we do in a way that can pull more people into healing. And I think that as I say this, look, it is like there is an awakening happening, and more people are coming. Like if you all got me, like there's more people on the way, okay? Because like I was like fighting and screaming to like come over to this side. So, I think that that's also what I feel, is that like there's a storm coming, and we need to get ourselves like organized so that we're ready for it, and ready for that onslaught of people to come in and, find people. But it's just, we also need to make that path easier for those people to navigate. So it kind of all comes together, but it's just, we need the support to build it. And, I kept on this path thinking that money was going to be the answer, that I was going to like, all right, I'm going to come into this money from, I sold my house, and like, this is going to be it. Didn't end up being the amount that I wanted. And I think that just along this path, it has told me that it has to be community. It has to be a community. It has to be a community. And that's why I'm here. I'm here trying to convince other people that we all need to do this together. So, so there's my call to action. We will share more information. So if we don't have your email address, if that's not how you found us, please share your email address with us. We have a Healers-Unite, goodness gracious, as I'm saying it, I don't even know it. So there's a Healers Unite email address, but is it on here? Yeah, okay, so at the bottom of here, you all have the contacts, healersunite.nc@gmail. Again, if I don't have your email address, if that's not how you found us. We also have an Instagram page right now, and then that link tree too has our links on there. So we have that seed planning meeting, and we have the next meeting coming up and hopefully from the seed planning meeting, we'll kind of gain like a new direction that we hope to see there. And we hope to see you in the social network and everywhere else we are. Sharing our posts would be super helpful too. Yeah.
Thank you.
I know that we're over time, but are there any questions or?
I want to know, I'm looking for support because I'm very behind the media net. And every time I need help, I have to ask my dad. And when I'm trying to find opportunity to ask someone, they ask me for once and they are hackers and then they can money from my.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking for is to advertise my business with some institute.
Okay. And then, far as like you're on social media?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's people like, because I'm not the person that's really good and skilled at that, but I think that that's another thing that I think would be helpful is if we share with each other what our needs are. So I think that on the social network, there is kind of a place where you can put like what I'm looking for. You know, so if you went out there onto that space and kind of shared, like, this is what I'm looking for, even if it is like somebody, you know, else in the group, like there are people that do that as part of their job is, you know, social media presence, like, what is that called? Social media, like creation and whatnot. Or is there somebody that you're able to trade with, right? Like you're skilled at this other, you know, aspect and they're skilled in this, like, could you trade, you know, to, or they could just help you out with some questions.
Because I already have all my clients and everything, I just need to make it social media, secure social media, like a website.
And I think that too, like, I know that, Jennifer was pretty skilled at that too. And I think that there's people out there in this group that I think would be able to help, but it's, you know, you could ask in that network. So if you, like, there's, again, like a social network that you can go to, and then there's like places where you can ask questions and ask for feedback. So that might be good. I think that we're gonna start. I know one person has suggested, somebody had suggested, as we're doing like a small business, like a meeting to like help people with their small business issues. So that might be helpful too. Like we might get that. Talk to Jennifer about setting that up, like have like a place where people could go to kind of ask those questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be a seed that we can plant and nourish, and I think Jennifer Reed would be great to start.
Just look at like a mentoring, like mentoring.
Yeah.
So I think that we just have to get like see if she has the energy to post that and work with that going forward. So we'll talk to her about that. The survey too, though. Oh, here. You could just do applicant. Yep. And here's the directory.
You are.
Yeah, that's great. We wouldn't know what to do.
I started way back in the where it was just one.
And then I started the rest.
And then the rest. And so now I'm with Healing Expert.
Okay.
Where are you?